Now then, as you all know, unless of course you've never seen me before, in which case, hello, I'm Creaky. But as you all know, I make videos about conspiracy theorists and other online morons. Now, one of my subscribers sent me today's video, and when I first watched it, I didn't really get why he'd sent me the video, if I'm being honest. But then I started to look into the background of the guy in the video, and I found this.
I mean, I've been talking about this for 15 years. The whole thing where, no, those are contrails, when contrails last maximum 7 seconds in the atmosphere. Weather modification, weaponizing weather.
Now, this isn't a chemtrail video. I've made plenty of videos about that. But this guy, Chevin Jafari, is a health and wellness coach. And I don't know about you, but there's no way I'm trusting my health and well-being to somebody who believes the chemtrails are real. So let's have a look, shall we? Please subscribe.
So if someone's out there and they're like, I think I might have a parasite and I want to do something about it, or they know they have a parasite, what are the tools in the toolbox to get rid of these parasites?
Or even if they don't and they just want to create a strong system to make sure that they...
Everyone has parasites.
Okay.
Let's make that clear.
No, they don't. Not all humans have parasites. While it is common to encounter parasites at some point during your life, modern hygiene and medical treatments often keep them at bay, so it's not a given that everyone has them.
We all have parasites. Just some are communal, meaning they can create balance, and they're symbiotic in nature, and a majority of them are not, and they're causing massive devastation in the body, and they're gonna get you.
So, in my humble opinion, for what it's worth, this is why people like him are potentially dangerous, because he's mixing fact and fiction together and using buzzwords. Based on our current medical understanding, it is true that our bodies host a variety of microorganisms, some of which could be considered parasitic. But it's a bit of a stretch to say we all have parasites, in the sense that most people think of parasites like tapeworms or lice. The idea that some are communal or symbiotic is pretty on point though, and these microorganisms often live in a sort of balance with us, and disrupting that balance can lead to health issues. But on the flip side, there are indeed parasites that can cause massive devastation in the body, like malaria causing plasmodium or intestinal worms. But it's not like they're out to get you in a predatory sense. They're just trying to survive and reproduce, and we just happen to be a convenient host. So while it is true that some parasites can be harmful, it's not a universal they're gonna get you situation. Many people live their entire lives without experiencing significant issues from parasites, especially in developed countries with good sanitation and healthcare.
So what is our first step? I think our first step is what we talked about. We got to get the foundation healthy, right? So we got to make sure we're sleeping properly. We got to make sure that our stress is regulated. We got to make sure we're eating the right foods, that we're encouraging the microbiota to be in balance. We got to make sure we're producing hydrochloric acid properly in the gut. That's our first line of defense.
How do we produce hydrochloric acid properly in the gut?
Well, you don't drink alkalizing water all day long. That's been, subject to some kind of machine that's turned it into an alkaline water. Spring water is fine, but you don't want to diffuse the acidity of your gut.
Okay, so I couldn't find a specific scientific paper that directly states drinking water neutralizes hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Most of the research focuses on other aspects of water and hydrochloric acid interactions, but not specifically on neutralization in the human gut. So based on the current medical literature, there is no strong evidence to suggest that drinking regular water would significantly reduce stomach acid. The stomach is designed to maintain its acidity even when you consume water. And just to give you your first hint, I bet he sells a supplement that'll fix that though, even though it's not actually a thing.
Like all that pH alkaline stuff, is that all bullshit?
That's a very dynamic question. But pH is percentage of hydrogen or parts of hydrogen.
Now look, I'm obviously not a doctor or a health and wellness guru, but parts or percentage of hydrogen, really? I thought you were an expert. Now, pH may look like it belongs on the periodic table of elements, but it's actually a unit of measurement. The abbreviation for pH is potential hydrogen, and it tells us how much hydrogen is in liquids and how active the hydrogen ion is. Red flag, anyone?
It's very important to understand how pH works in the body.
I agree, but coming from a health and wellness guru, isn't it also important to know what pH actually means?
Then we can start going into the second layer, which is things like Para-X or ozone treatments, cleansing, enemas, different types of herbal cleanses, different types of things like that. Also, antifungal, parasitic diets, where we're kind of starving them out to a certain degree.
Well, this is all groundbreaking stuff, I must say, and we'll get to the reviews on his website a little bit later on in the video. So what you're telling everyone then, as a health and wellness guru, is not to eat crap food. I would never have thought of that by myself. Oh, and we mustn't forget that you can also buy a pot of Para X, which is a little pill you take, for $80 on your website, and that'll solve all your problems.
What would those consist of?
Well, mainly we can't be eating denatured sugars all day long, right? So that comes in the form of processed foods and things like that. We can't have simple sugars. If you notice, the parasitic energy has a hive mind, right? Like these things are smart.
Parasites do not have a hive mind. Each one operates independently, unlike social insects like bees or ants that share a sort of collective intelligence. Parasites are more about that solo mission to find a host and survive. Parasites aren't considered intelligent either, or at least not in the way that humans and some animals are. They operate much more based on instinct and biological triggers rather than conscious thought, and they're really good at finding hosts and surviving. But that's more about an evolutionary adaptation than intelligence, so sorry pal, but no Mensa membership for parasites, or you either. All you're trying to do is scare people into buying your particular brand of nonsense.
Intelligent, they've evolved over time in this realm. They confuse the human experience. They confuse how we operate. There's a lot of spiritual perspective that, you're riddled with parasites. You're operating as a parasite.
Okay, so a parasite is an organism that lives on or in a host organism and gets its food at the expense of the host. Something oddly familiar about that description. Anyway, basically, they take resources without giving anything beneficial back. Right. Kind of like the ultimate freeloaders. So Symbiotica is a parasitic website then.
They've taken over. So that means that you're going to be sucking the energy out of people, vampiric energy. I think we all know people like that.
Now, I've got to be honest, until somebody sent me this video, I didn't know anybody like that. I have heard the term energy vampires before. So in the same way as some people suck good energy out of other people, allegedly, your website sucks money out of people stupid enough to fall for what you've said in this video, and you get the money.
That's really important conversation. It's the mechanism that parasites work that we have to research.
Well, duh, you're not paying attention. I just explained that perfectly. You set up a website selling supplements with absolutely zero scientific evidence to support their effectiveness, and then you market them to people who are too stupid to actually look into things for themselves before ingesting them. Would you say that kind of sums up what you do on the internet?
And that's what Rudolf Steiner said. And he said that the parasite hive mind enters the cerebral cortex and turns us into a conscious state of parasitism.
Okay, so Rudolf Steiner had some unique views on parasites, often blending science with spiritual and esoteric beliefs. He considered parasites and diseases as not just physical issues, but also connected to spiritual and cosmic forces. But his ideas are not widely accepted in mainstream science or medicine. Those two important things that we use to determine whether something is effective and safe or not. Anyway, so while interesting, they are not the go-to source for understanding parasites from a scientific standpoint. But I would imagine they're ideal for scamming people out of money for products that they don't actually need.
Which means that we're constantly looking to see how we can take from others, and we don't even know it. That's the intelligence behind it. It's almost taken over our entire being.
Come on, don't be so modest. It's also your entire business model. Take money from people who blindly believe what some guy on a podcast said, even though some guy has no traceable qualifications for any of the things he's talking about.
And that's really important because I think we all know that there is a heavy load of vampiric energy out there and parasitic energy out there. People are are preying on people, and most of the time they don't even know what they're doing.
He's doing it on purpose now. He has to be. And mate, you know exactly what you're doing. And if what I've read is true, you're doing it very, very well. Well, for your own financial gain anyway.
That is so crazy. It's like a Dementor energy.
Totally. Yeah.
So it could actually be something in your system that's causing people to be like that.
Now prepare for the shock of your life, but Dementor energy isn't a scientific term. It's often used casually to describe a vibe or a presence that seems to suck the positivity or energy out of a room, much like the Dementors in the Harry Potter series then. So you think that there's something inside me that causes the people around me to behave in a negative way. Okay, well I can't wait to hear the explanation for that one. Oh, I bet he's got a supplement that can fix it though.
I believe so. I mean, the action that the signal pathways that they operate with, like for example, Candida, which is it's a fungus-like bacteria, Candida albicans. That's sending signals into the brain of immediate desire for sugar.
Yeah, nice going. Even I know that fungus isn't a type of bacteria. I thought you were meant to be some sort of expert. Now obviously when I make a video like this, I need to do a lot of reading to make sure that what I'm saying to you is accurate, or at the very least true. Now then, Candida overgrowth is often cited as a fungal infection that might make you crave sugar. Emphasis on the word might. The idea is that Candida feeds on sugar, so an overgrowth could potentially make you want more of it. But once again, and like everything else I've had to research for this video, the science is mixed. And sugar cravings can have many other causes too. In my case, I constantly crave sugar because I'm a greedy sod. So while it's a possibility, it's not a slam dunk explanation for my sweet tooth. But of course, this douche nozzle sells a supplement that it would seem can fix anything he says is wrong with anyone. So obviously, his explanation isn't going to match any of the actual explanations for anything.
There's a particular out of balance material compound in the body that's sending brain signals to you to push your ghrelin, your hunger hormone, to desire sugar, which is their main fuel.
Hormone imbalances can indeed mess with ghrelin levels, but it's not super clear cut. Once again, that it would make you specifically crave sugar. Ghrelin generally makes you hungry, not necessarily sugar hungry. But when you're hungry, you may be more likely to reach for quick sources of energy, like sugary foods. So in a roundabout way, it could contribute to those sugar cravings, but it certainly doesn't cause you to crave sugar alone. This is just another example of you trying to scare people into buying what you sell.
That's intelligent.
So is it a good indicator if you are somebody that's craving sugar all the time that there may be either some Candida or...
Absolutely.
So it's not because you've got low blood sugar then, or because you're bored or stressed or emotional. And it's not because of lack of sleep, so your body's craving something high energy. Or like in my case, it's not because it's become a habit for you to sit there every night stuffing your face with sweets while you're watching TV.
So if you're somebody that's feeling like you need sugar all the time, you might want to think about, okay, starving yourself of sugar and doing some kind of cleanse to get your body regular again.
Correct. Yeah, Candida diet, fungal diet.
I'm not a healthcare professional, as I've already said multiple times in this video. But if you're always craving sugar, completely starving yourself of it might not be the best approach. Extreme restriction can lead to binging later on. Instead, you might want to focus on a balanced meal plan, healthier snack options, and most importantly, trying to figure out what causes the cravings. And if it's a persistent issue, go and see an actual doctor. Those people who spend years and years in medical school learning about this sort of thing. So, there you go. But, as I mentioned earlier on, here are just a few one-star reviews I found about this website. Buyer beware, terrible company, new low in customer services, an absolute worst company to deal with because they tricked this person into a subscription that they didn't even sign up for, and they go on to call them unethical thieves. Anyway, I hope you found this video as interesting as I did. I know it's a little bit off topic, but in my opinion, a grifter's a grifter no matter how they dressed it up. Huge thank you to these lovely people for supporting what I do here on YouTube. And remember, if you are able to support what I do and you want to, then all the different ways in which you can help are linked below this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all again very soon. Love you, bye.
Alright, watch.
Okay, is it? Have they all gone? Yeah? Awesome. Right, so just in case you didn't see my last community post, I've decided to make a little bit of a change to the way I upload, hence this extra video. So, for the time being, instead of making 2 videos a week and then waiting and uploading them on Wednesday and Saturday, I've decided that I'm just going to make the videos and then release them as soon as they're done. What the hell am I waiting for? A written invitation? Now, what that means is that some weeks there'll be more videos for you to enjoy, and other weeks there may just be the regular 2 videos. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I've also started a collaborative playlist on YouTube that anyone can add videos to. Now, if you do want to help me out by suggesting videos for me to respond to, then all you've got to do is join my Discord server, again, which is linked below. Reach out to me in there, and I will send you a link to the playlist. Anyway, what the hell are you still doing here listening to me waffling on? Go on, bugger off. No, and you as well. Sling your hook.
All right, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.